Is being exceptionally intelligent a blessing or a burden? While a sharp mind brings deep understanding, creativity, and insight, it can also make navigating the social world a real challenge. Highly intelligent people often think, feel, and see the world on a completely different wavelength. It's not that they're trying to be intimidating, but their unique perspective can sometimes leave others feeling confused, overwhelmed, or even defensive. Let us explore 8 signs that you might just be too smart for most people to handle. Not because you're superior, but because your mind is wired differently. First, you have a deep need for substance in everything you do. You're not one for small talk or mindless chatter. While others might enjoy swapping gossip or talking about the weather, you crave conversations that have real depth, discussions about philosophy, psychology, the universe, or abstract ideas that truly challenge the mind. You're constantly searching for meaning and connection in your interactions, which can make you come across as intense or overly serious. Many people find this exhausting because they prefer lighthearted chats, while you're eager to dive into the deep end of thought and emotion. This can sometimes leave you feeling a bit lonely, as finding someone who can match your intellectual pace is a rare treat. Another sign is your insatiable curiosity and hunger for knowledge. You question everything: authority, tradition, common beliefs, and even your own assumptions. You're never satisfied with a simple, because that's the way it is. You need to understand the how and the why behind everything. This relentless curiosity drives you to learn constantly and explore a wide range of subjects. However, this very trait can make others uncomfortable. They might mistake your inquisitiveness for arrogance or skepticism, thinking you're trying to one-up them when all you're doing is genuinely seeking the truth. Most people prefer the comfort of certainty, so your open-ended, questioning approach can naturally set you apart from the crowd. You also have a tendency to overanalyze. Well, everything. Your brain is like a supercomputer that rarely powers down, constantly dissecting motives, spotting patterns, and predicting consequences. While this analytical gift allows you to make thoughtful decisions and see outcomes that others miss, it can also make you seem distant or overly cautious. People who operate more on impulse or emotion might not understand why you take so long to make a decision or why you notice details that seem insignificant to them. Overthinking can also make relationships tricky. You might find yourself analyzing every word, gesture, or tone, trying to decode some deeper meaning. It can be mentally draining, but it's just the way your mind is built to function. A 4th sign is your deep appreciation for solitude. While many people see being alone as a form of loneliness, you see it as an essential part of life. Solitude is your time to recharge, reflect, and think freely without the constant buzz of social distractions. You're perfectly comfortable in your own company because your inner world is rich and fulfilling. You might prefer getting lost in a good book, writing, or creating something new over attending a big party. However, this love for alone time can be misinterpreted as being aloof or antisocial. People might assume you don't enjoy their company when, in reality, you just value meaningful time with yourself more than superficial interactions with a group. 5th, you've probably noticed that your sense of humor doesn't always land, because your mind is quick and you see the world in layers of nuance. Your jokes might be too subtle, sarcastic, or abstract for others to catch on to. You might make clever references or play with ideas that require a bit of background knowledge, leaving people more puzzled than amused. It's not that you lack a sense of humor, far from it. You find humor in places others might not even think to look. This disconnect can make socializing feel a little tougher, since humor is such a key part of how people bond. When your jokes fly over people's heads, it can make you feel more isolated and reinforce that feeling of being misunderstood. Another strong indicator is your extreme sensitivity to hypocrisy and ignorance. You have a finely tuned sense of logic and fairness. So when you encounter inconsistency, manipulation, or people who are willfully ignorant, it frustrates you on a deep level. You place a high value on honesty, self-awareness, and rational thought. Because of this, people who lie to themselves or refuse to think critically can be incredibly difficult for you to be around. This doesn't mean you're judgmental. It just means you have very little patience for pretense. You prefer authenticity and truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Unfortunately, not everyone is ready to face that kind of raw honesty. which can make you seem blunt or harsh when you're simply being real. Seventh, you possess a rich emotional and intellectual inner life that not everyone gets to see. Your thoughts are complex and your emotions run deep. You might experience empathy so intensely that you feel others' pain as if it were your own. This high emotional intelligence gives you incredible insight into human behavior, but it also makes you vulnerable. Because you feel everything so profoundly, you might struggle to relate to people who seem emotionally shallow or disconnected. You may even find yourself hiding parts of your true self just to avoid being misunderstood or dismissed. Many people won't even realize how complex your emotional world is, mistaking your quiet introspection for coldness when, in reality, you're feeling everything all at once just beneath the surface. Finally, one of the clearest signs is your fierce independence of thought. You don't conform easily. You don't follow trends or accept opinions just because they're popular. You prefer to think for yourself, even if it means standing alone. This intellectual independence can make you a natural leader, innovator, or creative thinker. But it can also make you an outsider. Society often rewards conformity and discourages rocking the boat, so your refusal to just fit in can make others uneasy. People might see your confidence in your own ideas as arrogance when it's actually a sign of your integrity. You trust your own judgment because it's built on a foundation of critical thinking and self-awareness. Being too smart for most people doesn't mean you're better than them. It simply means your operating system is different. You see layers of complexity where others see simplicity, and that can make it hard to connect on a casual level. It might also make you more selective about who you let into your inner circle. You crave authenticity, depth, and understanding, and you'd rather have a few genuine connections than dozens of shallow ones. The downside is that you might often feel misunderstood, lonely, or frustrated by a world that doesn't always appreciate nuance and intellect. But this very difference is what makes you, you. In the end, true intelligence isn't just about IQ or book smarts. It's about curiosity, empathy, creativity, and the courage to think for yourself. The wisest people know that intelligence also requires humility and compassion. The challenge is finding those who aren't intimidated by your depth, but are inspired by it. And when you finally connect with someone who matches your intellectual and emotional energy, that relationship feels effortless, meaningful, and incredibly special. Until then, feeling too smart might seem isolating, but it's also a powerful reminder that your mind is extraordinary, and not everyone is meant to understand it. Thanks so much for watching. If any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content that makes you think. See you next time.